during the week I use a gel flask to hold my Q-tips, but it will have a transformation. Let's give it a quick blow, upside down, and it will serve its purpose tomorrow. So I'll put some gel inside it. I happen to like Cliff Shot because they have organic stuff. How I interpret organic is normally it means it's not produced with pesticides or gasoline or stuff like that. So. And the reason why I use gel flask, and that's what it's called, is in a race it's a lot faster. Keep it undone, a lot faster in a race, and then back you go, rather than pull it off and hopefully you get. There's nothing worse than being in a race and you pull off the gel and think you've ripped the top off and then no gel. Has anybody ever had that happen to them? And then it doesn't come out. So I've had too many battles with the gel itself, so I wear a flask. We have a 100-mile bike ride tomorrow, so I'll use this. Plus, at the end of the race, it's normally all kind of nasty inside, and you stick some water in there, shake it, and you get some little calories for recovery, which once you come across the finish line, that's kind of the first place you get your calories is expired gels and expired gel flasks. So I'll just continue on here with this. Plus, the other thing that I don't like seeing athletes do is they'll have gels on the road and then they throw this stuff on the ground, and it kind of gives us a bad rap with the community because we're littering. It doesn't set a good example as athletes. But if you buy a gel flask that is maybe meant for triathletes, or because you could buy these in any really CVS stores, but maybe you can't see this on the camera so much, but they're little notches with numbers. So when I fill this up, and let's just say it reaches up to a certain notch, and say 2 of these got me up to 1, which that's the way this one works, if you level it out, well then I know that up to 1 I have 200 calories. So in a real Ironman race you want to get 300 to 500 calories an hour, so that's a way to measure your calories without thinking too much on the road. This is a big gel flask. You can get smaller ones that might be just 300 calories, so you just do the whole gel flask and then cram back in and you're set. You get back into your ride. So hopefully that makes a little sense. So what are we watching right now? King Kong? So I'll just fill this up. The one thing I discovered too, and I'm not sponsored by Cliff, I'd like to because I like to get all this stuff without paying for it, but the blocks, it's almost like gummy bears for adults, but it's made out of good stuff, and it's about as solid as I go. Bananas and shot blocks are probably the most solid food. I don't think it's necessary, and I've had a lot of problems by eating solid food and in long-distance endurance events. But what's cool about the shot blocks, they get stuck in your teeth, and then later on, you can kind of eat them. So whether you're getting calories or not, you're fooling your brain. Your brain's thinking you're eating. So if you're sort of bonky or whatever, like I did a half Ironman in Las Vegas last September, 101 mile, 101 degrees when the run started. I had shot blocks, and that's where I discovered it because I ate them and they got stuck in my teeth. But then later on when I ran out of food because the aid stations ran out of all kinds of stuff, I was sucking on my teeth and sucking some of this stuff down, and it kept me happy. Part of hydration and nutrition is fooling your brain. Just like when you drink, you don't want to throw it down your throat. But the important part of hydration in a race is keeping your mouth wet. So I fill up my cheeks before I put it down in my body. So anybody have any questions about race nutrition? We could pan the audience right now.
You mix water in that flask a little bit to make it squeeze out easier? Or?
Yes, or you can actually make a drink out of it. So yes, that's a good question. Did everybody hear that?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people do. You might see these fuel belt things, which, I don't know, I don't think that's very necessary. You just get the right kind of tri-gear, and you can carry stuff in those pockets and not need a whole belt on there. But yeah, that you would, you know how they say salt to taste? So you would add water to whatever consistency. Because I do know that I almost can't have goo anymore in a race. I don't know what they did to it. That used to be my gel 3 years ago. But goo now, it comes out like toothpaste. And I'm like looking for, it used to be, hey, you do your gels about 45 seconds before you're going to get to an aid station. But now with goos, do you know what I'm talking about? My favorite was Chocolate Outrage. I love that one. But that it used to come out a little runnier or gooier, but now it comes out like toothpaste, and man, it just drives me out. And so the only time I have goos, G-U, is when I'm like just maybe sitting down or getting ready to go out on a bike ride or something. But in a race, not anymore, because I want it to be a little runnier. But if all you had were goo, then you would do it. Your idea is add some water to it, it'll thin it out. So that was a good question. What about you, Georgie? Mr. 105-mile veteran? We got to follow your lead tomorrow, huh? You got any race nutrition questions or survival stories or?
No, I think the last time I think I loaded up on PB&Js a little bit too early during the ride, so don't do that. Eat steadily.
Yes.
But,
the reason for tomorrow's race, here it is. It's January what? 14th? 15th. So tomorrow's the 16th. Why are we doing a 100-mile bike race so early in the year? Well, can we shoot Kyle? Did his smiley face in? Kyle and I plan on doing Ironman Arizona almost a year from now in November. This is a good low-pressure opportunity to see not only what it's like to ride for 100 miles, but also we're going to get off and see how the legs feel and go for a little jog afterwards. Just so once Kyle gets more into his Ironman training, hitting August time frame, he's going to know what to expect. And when he gets race assignments saying, we got to do a 2-hour this or a 4-hour this, he's going to understand. And then possibly, hopefully, Kyle learns about the type of nutrition that he's going to be successful with tomorrow. Because in endurance sports, up to 4 hours, you could pretty much get away with anything. But that 4-hour and beyond mark, you better have your nutrition plan nailed down, and because there's no really room for mistakes or fudging it or winging it, because that's what really separates the long distance good guys from pretty much everybody else that is just out there hacking, is how they are in that last hour to 2-hour time frame is what's key. So anyway, these shot blocks, another thing I like about them is there are 6 pieces in here, but 3 pieces contain 100 calories. So you can just divide that up with each little chunk and know, again, how many calories you're getting.